Persia, an ancient and mysterious land, borders Mesopotamia, the cradle of the oldest human civilizations. The Persian Empire had grown into a vast superpower spanning Asia, Europe, and Africa, covering approximately 5.5 million square kilometers, far surpassing any previous empire in history. The term Persians broadly refers to the people who live on this land and speak the Persian language, mainly of Aryan descent. This land is called Iran in modern Persian, meaning land of the Aryans. This land witnessed the rise and fall of one of the world's first empires. Why does this nation with such a rich history and culture lag in keeping pace with the times while its people still struggling? In this episode, we will unveil this mysterious Oriental nation and tell the 3,000 years history of the Persians. The Mesopotamian plain is the birthplace of the earliest human civilizations, where the first empire in human history, the Assyrian Empire, emerged. The Assyrians referred to the peripheral highlands as Parsuash, derived from the ancient Iranian word Parsava, meaning borderland. Later, the Greeks, based on this term's pronunciation, used Perses to describe the people living there who spoke Persian as their native language, which is the origin of the term Persia. The Persians settled on the Iranian plateau in the 7th century BC, and then began expanding into the Mesopotamian region. In 612 BC, the Assyrian Empire, which dominated the Mesopotamian plain, fell and its territory was divided among several kingdoms, including the Neo-Babylonian Empire, the Kingdom of Lydia, and the Kingdom of the Medes, whose territory stretched from the two rivers to Asia Minor. However, in the 6th century BC, Cyrus the Great emerged and brought these kingdoms under Persian control, establishing the Achaemenid Empire in 550 BC, the renowned Persian Empire. Cyrus the Great is celebrated not only for his military conquests, but also for his innovative approach to governance. He respected the customs and religions of the lands he conquered, which helped in maintaining stability and loyalty among the diverse populations. The Cyrus Cylinder, often considered the first charter of human rights, exemplifies his forward-thinking policies on governance and human rights. After several generations, by the 5th century BC, the Persian Empire had grown into a vast superpower spanning Asia, Europe, and Africa, covering approximately 5.5 million square kilometers, far surpassing any previous empire in history. However, in the 5th century BC, the Persian Empire encountered significant setbacks during its expansion. From 499 to 449 BC, Persian kings Darius I and Xerxes I launched two invasions of Greece, both of which failed. Not only did they fail to annex Greece, but they also lost control over the Greek city-states in Asia Minor. From that point, the Persian Empire began to decline. The Greco-Persian Wars were significant in shaping the history and identity of both Greece and Persia. The battles of Marathon, Thermopylae, and Salamis are etched into the annals of history as pivotal moments where the vastly outnumbered Greek forces managed to repel the Persian invasions. These conflicts also highlighted the logistical and strategic challenges of maintaining a vast empire. In the 4th century BC, the Macedonian kingdom in northern Greece rose rapidly, first unifying Greece and then, under King Alexander's leadership, launching an eastward expedition. In 330 BC, after the famous battles of Issus and Gaugamela, Alexander overthrew Persian Emperor Darius III and incorporated the entire Persian Empire into his realm. Although Alexander's empire continued the political system of the Persian Empire, it was short-lived. In 323 BC, with Alexander the Great's sudden death, his empire was immediately divided among his generals, and Seleucus took control of Persia, establishing the Seleucid Empire in 312 BC. The provinces under the Seleucid Empire soon began to seek independence, leading to constant territorial shrinkage and fragmentation in the Persian region. In 63 BC, the Seleucid Empire was completely destroyed by the Roman Republic, ending Greek rule over Persia. From 248 BC to 224 AD, the Parthian Empire, also known as the Arsacid Empire, controlled much of Persia. Although the Parthians claimed to be descendants of the Achaemenid Empire, they were not authentic Persians. Even at its peak, the Parthian Empire's territory was far from the size of the former Achaemenid Empire. The Parthians were notable for their conflicts with Rome, particularly the famous Battle of Qajar Era in 53 BC, where they decisively defeated the Roman forces. The Parthian shot, a military tactic where horse archers would feign retreat and then turn and shoot at their pursuers, became legendary. By the 3rd century AD, the Persians regained their strength. In 224 AD, Ardashir I, born into a prominent family in Fars province in southern Iran, ended the Parthian Empire through a series of wars and established the Sassanian Empire, known as the Second Persian Empire, once again unifying the Persian region. At its peak, the Sassanian Empire's land area reached approximately 5.4 million square kilometers, almost matching the 5.5 million square kilometers of the Achaemenid Empire at its height. The Sassanian Empire is often considered the pinnacle of ancient Persian civilization. It was marked by significant cultural, scientific, and economic achievements. The Sassanians maintained a complex and highly organized state apparatus, and their legal and administrative systems influenced later Islamic governance. The Sassanian period also saw the flourishing of Zoroastrianism as the state religion and the development of a distinct Persian art and architecture, which included grand palaces, reliefs, and silverware. To the west of the Sassanian Empire was the powerful Eastern Roman Empire, also known as the Byzantine Empire, with whom they frequently clashed. The Byzantine-Sassanian Wars were a series of conflicts that spanned centuries, significantly draining the resources and weakening both empires. While the Byzantine Empire held out until 1453 when it was conquered by the Turks, the Sassanian Empire was destroyed by the Arabs in 651 AD. During the Umayyad dynasty period in 651 AD, the Arab Empire conquered the Sassanian Empire and began ruling the Persian region. At its peak, the Arab Empire's territory included the Arabian Peninsula, Persia, North Africa, and parts of Europe. During this time, Persia and North Africa gradually became Islamized. The Egyptians in North Africa couldn't resist Arab assimilation and gradually abandoned their language, culture, faith, and lifestyle, becoming a branch of the Arab people, leading to the disappearance of ancient Egyptian civilization with nearly 4,000 years of history into the sands of time. However, Persian civilization entered a golden age under Arab rule. They did not assimilate into a branch of the Arabs like the Egyptians. Instead, they further promoted Persian culture during the stability and prosperity of the Arab Empire. It was during this period that great literary figures like Rumi and Saadi, and scholars like Avicenna and Nasir al-Din Tusi emerged among the Persians, writing a glorious chapter in human history. The Islamic Golden Age, particularly under the Abbasid Caliphate, saw Persia becoming a center of learning and culture. The House of Wisdom in Baghdad attracted scholars from across the Muslim world. Avicenna's The Book of Healing and the Canon of Medicine were influential in both the Islamic world and Europe for centuries. However, the caliph's power began to decline. Various small states emerged independently across Persia until the 11th century, when the Seljuk Turks rose and once again unified the Persian region, establishing the Seljuk Empire. Ruling is far more difficult than conquering, especially for the nomadic Turks. The Seljuk Empire split into several factions within less than a century, leading to its downfall. It was replaced by the newly established Khwarezmian Empire, which was conquered by the Mongols in less than 20 years. The Mongols were a nomadic people, active in the Central Asian steppes. Although their origins can be traced back to the Neolithic era, it wasn't until that they, under the leadership of Temujin, known as Genghis Khan, established Mongol Empire on the northern steppes. The Mongols occupied half of the vast Eurasian landmass, from the Pacific Ocean to the Mediterranean, in less than a century. The Mongol invasions were marked by extreme destruction and significant population loss. However, the Mongols also facilitated cultural exchanges between East and West. The Ilkhanate, a division of the Mongol Empire that ruled Persia, adopted many aspects of Persian culture and governance. As mentioned earlier, ruling is far more difficult than conquering. The Mongols soon split into 4 Khanates and the Yuan dynasty in China. The Ilkhanate occupied the Persian region but quickly fragmented into smaller kingdoms. It wasn't until 1501 that Ismail I, claiming to be a descendant of the Sassanian dynasty, unified Persia through a series of military campaigns, establishing the Safavid Dynasty, known as the Third Persian Empire. The Safavid dynasty inherited ancient Persian civilization, marking the beginning of Iran's modern history and serving as a transitional dynasty. The Safavids established 12-verse Shi'ism as the state religion, which became a cornerstone of Iranian identity. The Safavid period saw a flourishing of Persian art, architecture, and culture, with the construction of magnificent structures like the Shah Mosque and the Ali Kapu Palace in Isfahan. Unfortunately, the Safavid dynasty experienced a brief period of glory before declining and being destroyed in 1736, with its territory divided among several neighboring countries. After the fall of the Safavid dynasty, the Persian region entered a period of turmoil known in Iranian history as the Era of Fragmentation, with different regimes taking turns ruling. From 1736 to 1747, the warlord Nader Shah established the short-lived Afsharid dynasty. Nader Shah is often compared to Alexander the Great for his military prowess and ambitious conquests, which included the capture of Delhi. However, his empire quickly disintegrated after his assassination. After Nader Shah's death, Persia once again fragmented into several small states. In the late 18th century, the Qajar dynasty rose and controlled most of Persia until the early 20th century. However, it was plagued by severe political and economic problems, leading to social unrest. The Qajar Era was marked by significant foreign interference, with Britain and Russia playing major roles in Persian affairs. This period also saw the beginning of modernization efforts, though they were met with resistance and limited success. In 1911, Iran experienced the Constitutional Revolution, forcing the then-king Muhammad Ali Shah to accept constitutional and parliamentary rule, turning Iran into a constitutional monarchy. However, in 1925, Reza Pahlavi, leader of the Pahlavi family, seized power through a coup and established the Pahlavi Dynasty. The Pahlavi Dynasty's rulers implemented a series of westernizing reforms while simultaneously enforcing autocratic rule, sparking public dissatisfaction. Pahlavi's modernization efforts included significant infrastructure projects, educational reforms, and efforts to reduce the power of the clergy. Due to the westernizing reforms backed by the United States, local Islamic ideologies clashed with Western ideologies. In 1979, Islamic leader Ayatollah Khomeini capitalized on public discontent to launch the Islamic Revolution, overthrowing the Pahlavi Dynasty and establishing the current Islamic Republic of Iran. The revolution was a complex and multifaceted movement, driven by opposition to autocratic rule, socio-economic inequalities, and the influence of Western powers. It profoundly transformed Iranian society and politics, establishing a theocratic state based on the principles of Shia Islam. Listening to the nearly 3,000-year story of the Persians, it's not hard to sense the depth of their history and culture. Indeed, most nations in the world do not have such deep histories and cultures, yet they have established advanced modern democratic states. On the other hand, countries with such rich histories and cultures often lag behind in keeping pace with the times, with their people still struggling. Feel free to leave your comments. If you like my video, please subscribe and share it with your friends. I see you in the next quest.